Cara, sabia que o Casimiro é mentira?
Casimiro é o quê?
Mentira. Entendeu?
Não, diz o que você falou.
Mentimo. Joga de timo.
Ah, eu sei, pô. Eu sabia já.
Mas ele joga muito de timo. Não é pouco não. Só joga de timo. Entendeu?
Só um bom e velho iaca entre a gente e a vitória. Lutem! É só achar fraqueza e ir pra cima. Foguinho eliminado. Exterminei.
Ninguém viu.
Dominando. Encerrei. Bons sonhos.
A gente entra aqui, ó. Deixa eu ver que não tem ninguém, a gente faz. Aqui pega legal. Ah, caralho. Agora fica na base.
Finalizei.
10 abates. Dominando.
Já terminei. Acabou o trabalho.
Restam 5 abates.
Mentalidade de tudo no mata-mata é uma merda, velho. Pô, tava vindo cá atrás de mim.
Resta 1 abate. Partida encontrada.
In this video, I'm going to explain how I set up a mouse accel curve for Zexro, a Valorant Pro for Dark Zero, and I'll explain my logic as I show each setting. After getting a lot of requests, I decided to develop a method for creating accel curves that should help you figure out what settings you want to use when you start playing on Accel, and I don't think there's any other videos like this. I will explain some of the logic on why I use each setting, but if you want to go really in depth on why mouse accel works so well for TAC FPS games like Valorant, CSGO, and Rainbow Six Siege, check out the video in the top right. First, you obviously need to download RawAccel. There's a link to the GitHub in the description, but you also need some kind of screen recording software. For this video, I'm going to use OBS. Open RawAccel and set your DPI to around 3 or 4 times your actual DPI. All this does is scale the x-axis so that you can actually see what your curve looks like, and it doesn't affect the function of the program at all. Next, you want to set your DPI to like 1600 or 3200, or if your mouse can handle it, you can go even higher. Basically, the way Accel measures your mouse speed is by taking the amount of dots your mouse sensor reports and dividing that by the time since the last report in milliseconds. So if your DPI is low, then you won't get an accurate read of your speed, which means your sense will be off. On most Accel curves, for most targets, this won't really make a difference past 16 or 3200 DPI, but if you want to go higher, that's fine. That being said, the difference is small enough that if your mouse can only handle 800 DPI or something, it's not the end of the world. I used the 1000 DPI out of laziness until I worked with Zexro and finally decided to make a curve on 3200. In order to make your new DPI feel fine when you're moving your cursor, you can simply change your sense multiplier to your old DPI divided by your new one, and your DPI will feel the same on the bottom of your curve, and it'll be fine navigating your desktop. On a side note about sense multiplier, if you're a Siege player who just wants to run a new one and on 3200. In order to make your new DPI feel fine when you're moving your cursor, you can simply change your sense multiplier to your old DPI divided by your new one, and and your DPI will feel the same on the bottom of your curve, and it'll be fine navigating your desktop. On a side note about sense multiplier, if you're a Siege player who just wants to run a sense between the two whole number sensitivities that you're forced to run, so that you don't have to run like 1 out of 5 viable sensitivities,
But cut the system latency. In half. When I then connect the average delays, you can see how the input lag is affected by the DPI value. The results as in average at 6.
you can just turn on Roxel and change your sense multiplier and put on any sense you want. From there, you don't even have to use the actual acceleration, but you can use it. But if your goal is just to get a weird sense in Siege, you can just stop here. From here, most people tell you to just turn Excel on and play around with it, which is really good advice. I've given it in the past. However, as I said, I've developed a method for making specific types of TAC FPS curves. Excel is personal, but these curves can work really well for me and other people. If you try this technique and it doesn't work great for you, that's fine. Noted, another Valorant Radiant I work with uses a curve that looks like this and goes from 21 centimeters per 360 to 6 centimeters per 360. While I don't love his curve, for some reason he seems to perform his best on it, being able to hit really cool clips, and also the red subscribe button below this video. Prove your like noted and click that button as well. So now what you want to do is open up Roxel on the DPI you're planning on making the curve on, have the DPI setting around 3 to 4 times that number, and then open up OBS and set up a window capture so that it is recording the Roxel in like the top right third of your screen. Open up Kovacs or AimLab and then set up a display capture to show your aim trainer. If your Roxel is in the window correctly, it shouldn't be coming close to your crosshair. You should be able to see your crosshair and the targets near it. But you should also be able to clearly see the